This video is for all the girls who want to learn how to do makeup, are not in the city to do a free one-on-one with me. I am going to show you exactly what you need to do. First things first, because I have dark spots, I am going to go ahead and use my color corrector in the color Peach, and I'm going to go ahead and cover up those dark spots. Some of them you can't see, some of them you will. Stay tuned and watch this video. All right, we got our dark spots color corrected, and we're going to let that dry for a little bit. Now we're going to go ahead and we're going to go in and do our brows. Full disclaimer, I already moisturized my face and I primed it before I started anything. Those are the first two steps. After those first two steps, you go in with your color corrector and then you go ahead and you start on your next one. And this one is the brows. All right, guys, brows are done. Color corrector is blended, and so is the concealer that I added to my underbrow just to shape them. So now we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna go in with our foundation. For my foundation, I use the Nicka K Liquid Matte Foundation. You can find that at any local beauty supply store, or if you're looking, you can search online and it's available. I use two different shades. My shades are between a 6 and a 7, so I will blend those and I'll be right back. If you can see my forehead and if you can see kind of where the skin is on my cheeks, can you see this color on my hand? It matches perfectly to the skin on my face. So now we're gonna go ahead and apply and I'll be right back. All right, y'all, as you can see, I am full coverage foundation out, okay? So I only took about 2 pumps of foundation, 1 of each, okay? And I mixed those together and I was able to achieve the perfect skin match with my foundation. I did not go underneath my eyes because that is where my concealer placement, because I want to brighten my T-zone. So I'm now going to go ahead and put my concealer on, and then we're going to let that dry for a little while and blend it in. For my concealer, I use the NYX Bear With Me concealer serum, and this is in shade Tan. So I'm just going to take about 2 pumps on my hand here. And then I'm going to grab my concealer brush, place it underneath my eyes, my Cupid's bow, under my lip here, and then my forehead. All right, guys, so here is the placement for my concealer. Some may say this is overdoing it, but you know, everyone has their own way of doing their makeup, and this is the way that it works for me. So again, I went in with my NYX Bear With Me concealer serum, and that is in shade Tan, okay? So then once this dries, I'm gonna give it about 30 seconds to a minute to dry, and then we're gonna go in and we're gonna go ahead and buff it out, okay? In the meantime, I am now gonna go ahead and place my contour and my blush. So let me do that and then I'll be right back. All right, you guys, I got my contour in and I got my blush on, as well as the concealer. The concealer is completely dry. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna buff out that contour first, starting from the top, going all the way around the face to the bottom. And then we're gonna go in and we're gonna blend out that concealer and then into the blush. All right, so we got everything blended out. Everything looks even. Can you still see the contour though? You're doing great. You're doing fantastic. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and we're just going to set the under eyes just very lightly, because we don't want it to crease, okay? Once we do that, we're gonna use a translucent powder for that. Once we do that, then we're gonna go ahead and go in with our light banana powder to fully set the concealer under the eye so that it looks like a flawless finish. For the translucent powder, it should be white. We're just gonna take our brush and we're just gonna dust it, tap, and go in and just kind of set. Now that we got the translucent powder under the eye and in all of the areas that we highlighted, now we're gonna go in with our banana light powder, and this is by Revolution. We're just gonna go ahead, take our powder puff and go underneath the eye, and we're gonna go in all of the areas that we want to look matte. So can you tell the difference? I went in, I set underneath my eyes, I set my Cupid's bow underneath my mouth and the area of my forehead that I used concealer on. Now we're gonna let that sit for a little while. I only went in lightly because today is just a normal day for me. It is not something, I'm not doing anything fantastic today. I'm just going out and hanging out with my kids. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and contour the nose just a little bit. We don't need a lot. All right, you guys, nose is contoured. We went in with that same contour brush we used to do the outer. we went in and did that and added some concealer down the middle and blended it in right away so that you can clearly see here that it's blended. So now we're just going to go ahead and we are going to finish out our powder by doing our powder blush and do our powder contour. All right, as you can see, we have the powder set, and now we're just going to go ahead and blend everything together and wipe off that banana powder. All right, we got that all blended, and now we're just going to go ahead and we're going to finish out our eyelids and do our eyeshadow, and then we're going to go ahead and complete that with the mascara, setting spray, and do a quick lip. All right, and here is the finished look for the natural look of the day. We are on our way out the door. Thanks for watching.